Hey guys, welcome to Rishi's Manchester United warehouse. Um, as you can see, I've changed locations and it's been a little difficult um, for me to make videos, but here I am. Um, I think I'm back for at least the next 4 or 5 weeks to like um, whoever that cares enough to like watch the videos, um, the strategic analysis, and the previews would be back essentially. But the thing that I want to talk about in this video, especially, is um, about the current situation in Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag. Um, I just wanted to share a few pointers about what is happening right now, currently. We're in a situation where, as Manchester United fans, um, we're in a situation where um, we have been in, to be precise, over the last 10 or 11 years, there is a slight crest of performances and then it all falls down. And Ole put it beautifully in his interview uh, with all the football pundits. Uh, he said that it's down to inconsistency and he blamed a plethora of factors, but one thing he did not blame was uh, the players' laziness, which a lot of like people point out on social media. Rashford is lazy, Bruno Fernandes is lazy. Now there might be a deficit in quality, and as Manchester United fans, we must believe, or evap- we must digest the fact that our team is not the best in the world anymore. We are not even, let's say, competitive with a lot of fourth or fifth teams from La Liga or Serie A. But what Manchester United have shown in the past, or what Manchester United have not shown in the present, is any sort of character, any sort of I'm gonna say heart on the pitch. But I disagree to the point. I think Manchester United have shown a lot of heart, a lot of character on the pitch, but the injuries this season have not helped us one bit. Uh, All teams have injuries, is what a lot of people are saying. But yeah, that's true. But I don't think all teams don't start with any of their preferred four. I think the best four defenders at Manchester United right now, given um, when you consider performance over the last 12 months, when you consider attitude, when you consider everything, I think Maguire, um, Luke Shaw, uh, Dalo or Wan-Bissaka, and um, Lisandro Martinez should form the back four of Manchester United. But like, how do you play when Amrabat has to step in, or when Dalo has to step in at left back and Lindelof has to play right back, or vice versa, and that creates a very very big vacuum, in my opinion, at the very deep end of our club, and that costs us a lot of like momentum going. Oh yes, we might be dependent on certain players. I think Ralph Ragnick and Ollie's last season, if there was no Ronaldo, we might not even finish in the first half of the table. But that is a reality that we have to deal with. We don't have the quality, the strength and depth in our bench to not rely on certain individuals. And yes, there's no shame in stating the fact that we rely on individuals like Sandro Martinez and Casemiro, and their harmony, whenever present on the pitch, makes us competitive. And even though Scott McTominay has been scoring goals, I don't think him starting over Casemiro, even if he has been scoring goals, does any good for our club. But Ten Hag has been in a very strange position right now. We started the derby actually made me think, and I was actually pretty close to being Ten Hag out, or I was Ten Hag out like about. Uh, I think the Liverpool draw changed me, and before that, I had almost lost all hope. But then I saw players come back, and we started performing again. I think this manager has identity, and maybe that's down to certain players, but the word that a lot of pundits, a lot of people online throw around is identity, and I disagree with that completely. Yeah. Our identity might be totally unattractive football, but it's effective at the end of the day. And I think that is something that should matter because Manchester United, I watched this 442 podcast very recently, and Azim Banatwala had like a brilliant point, and I love that podcast by the way. He stated the fact that why do we love Manchester United? We've not seen tiki taka football when we were children. We haven't seen that champagne football that Arsenal used to play. It's the moments that matter at our club. And we've come up with moments this season. The Brentford victory, I think the best one. Wolves, Kobe Menu. I think that level of character still is embedded in the team. And I think what we saw with Moyes, for example, the players just didn't care at the end of the stint, at the end of his stint. We, what we saw with Rangnick towards the end of his stint, yes, he was interim and everything, but the players did not care. But with Oli and Ten Hag, I can see a very comparable position where a certain set of players essentially don't care, but a majority of them care. But with Ten Hag, I'd go one step further and say that most of the players that don't care have been evacuated. And that's fine because they are also sucking in whichever league they're playing in. And I think that identity that I just talked about in Manchester United could be a very philosophical concept. A very philosophical concept, not construct, not technical at all. I think we are inherently like this. And it's not a derogatory thing that I'm saying, but I still think we have played a certain way for 50 years. You cannot change that in 2 or 3 years. And I think it is the Manchester United way to like rely on moments. And it is maybe this divine uh, thing that we cannot succeed if we try to like play out from the back and put in these neat passes, play in triangles, everything. And maybe what we need essentially right now is a man manager at the helm of it and not a master tactician. And I think Ten Hag is an amazing coach. What he has done to certain players is truly unbelievable. What he has done, yeah, you can take up the Anthony example as much as you want, but that doesn't do anyone any justice. A lot of like famous archers in the Olympic Games don't have to get tens and nines every time, they get sevens or six sometimes as well. But the thing about Ten Hag is, I feel like he's still in control, and he will be, just down to the sheer like man management capabilities that he has. It might sound very problematic and wrong, but I think Ten Hag has identified his core group of players that want to fight for him, and they do fight for him. And this new ownership has to give him time and these players, these core players, some time. I think Marcus Rashford, one example, a lot of people taunt him for his lack of try, his lack of drive, everything. But over and over again, we've seen that the quality is there, and there's a reason why Ten Hag really trusts him. And yeah, he hasn't worked out very well this season, but nobody has. I think our best performance this season, from a tactical point of view, was against Arsenal at the Emirates. I think we were brilliant. We were passing very deep amongst ourselves, and that was a brilliant implementation of tactics, in my opinion. Yes, we were playing very derogatory football, as most people would say, but I think the tactics implemented by Ten Hag almost worked, and Rashford came out of nowhere to score that brilliant individual goal that gave us the lead. And I think Rashford has the potential to do that for so many occasions. Against Barcelona last season, he was absolutely immaculate. I think you cannot let that level of talent slip away. I think Ten Hag respects that a lot. I think Ten Hag really needs time with his uh, core set of players. He needs to be supported by the new regime at Manchester United. Now, there's another like feeling that he might not be supported because he has not been shown public um, support. But you take like any business that has been recently ratified as the owners of a particular organization that is not really doing very well, and you personally like that the CEO or the manager who is leading the group of players, and you know the circumstances have been not right, and there are shareholders to please at the same time. In such a volatile situation, I think you ought to be a little diplomatic with your words and not be overly critical. To like be on the right side on a lot of people's books rather than being on the right side. Uh, being on the right side of the wrong people. Now, what if a majority of shareholders at Manchester United don't want Ten Hag? They want immediate success. What if they're Americans who have bought this stock that they want to somehow reap the benefits of, and they don't really understand the process? Todd Bowley, what he does with LA Dodgers is totally different from what he does with Chelsea on a fundamental level. So you can't really expect to please everybody everywhere. You can't expect to like uh, know the understanding, know the uh, thought process of every person everywhere. And maybe Sir Jim did that interview in the most diplomatic way possible, but I still believe that he has seen that this manager can at least manage 11 men against Arsenal and City and Liverpool away. Yes, we've come up with 1 point, or come out with 1 point, and I will not be cruel to like the other teams and say the fact that we deserve to win against City, but we deserve to lose against City in a kinder fashion. I think there were individual mistakes by players, and that costed us a bit of a humiliating defeat. But against Arsenal, yeah, again, I think we deserve to win that game. But yeah, I mean, marginal VAR decisions and everything. But the three best teams in England away, we gave them great competition. And no matter how bad the football was, at the end of the day, there were a set of instructions, and the players followed that set of instructions, and we almost pulled out a result in all the three games with a team that was not really up to the fullest when you consider personnel, fitness, everything. Even against Arsenal, I think Lisandro Martinez was playing with pills. So yeah, I mean, a very emotional content from my end. I don't know, like the other day Rashford scored and I cried. And I genuinely believe that all of us should support these two bullied individuals that are absolutely tormented online, day in, day out. Yeah, I mean, by our own fan base mostly, and it's just cutting to see somebody experiencing this witch hunt. Somebody who scored 31 goals last season, and the most successful manager in this short period of time when you consider wins. This manager who gave us so much happiness about 7 or 8 months ago is being criticized to death. I, I'm not a football expert, but certainly they are not. The people who are criticizing him, and their opinions are hurting. So, yeah, I mean, I just hope uh, the new ownership does not uh, do exactly the wrong things. And I hope people can call him not shameless after he speaks a little Dutch. He now new concept for you guys. I'm a Bengali person, but I do a lot of my talking in Hindi sometimes, and a lot of the times I'm thinking in Bengali, but translating it in like 5 seconds and speaking it in Hindi, and sometimes the meanings come out wrong, and you have to give that benefit of doubt to a person at the end of the day who's not comfortable with our language. The press has to let him down easy. Twitter has to let him down easy on certain things because he deserves all the stripes. He was wrong about a certain individual who is not getting a chance. He was wrong about, he was, he was right about that certain individual. Sorry. He was right about Donny not getting a chance. Onana, ridiculed by everyone online. AFCON में भी chance नहीं मिला, second goalkeeper from his country. Has been one of our best players. You just have to give these individuals time, and you have to give Ten Hag time. And yeah, I mean, that's all I'd want to talk about today. Bye bye.